Yeah, especially when you're in a little bit of a pinch today, but it is what it is. Me being in a pinch too. But what's up, guys? Are y'all watching this? Y'all watching this Lakers Mavs game right now? It's Luka's return. I don't quite see Zion in here. In that case, I will allude to it a little bit. We did officially get our winner of our $50 Amazon gift card and podcast T-shirt from our tournament challenge that we hosted for March Madness. So that was pretty cool. Thanks to all that attended that, and we hope to do that in the future. But Zach, I have the Lakers winning tonight. I think they have to get back on track. Personally, I think they should have beat the OKC Thunder last night, but Luka got ejected for talking trash to a fan, and the ref thought that he was talking to him. Very confusing scenario, but it happens, I guess. Yeah, I saw that. Christian in the chat says, I got Jokic for 23 and 9 rebounds. Is that sweat free? I think so. How much money do you have on it, though? Yeah, that's fair. He has 2.5K on it? Damn. You might have a problem. You might have a problem. I wish I had that much money to throw around like that, but but looking at the standings here, Zach, is there anything that catches your eye, like who is in what like certain seeding at the moment, or what matchups you think are going to happen and looking forward to? What do you like from this? Yeah, I think anybody can give the Knicks a run for their money, though, if I'm being honest with you, because I feel like the Knicks are on the struggle bus this season compared to what they were last season before injury. Um, yeah, I mean, the Pistons are kind of rolling. I don't know if the Pistons are good enough quite yet. I think next year they'll be a problem, more or less this year. But I don't know. The Knicks are going to play 7 guys for 30 plus minutes in the playoffs. We all know how Tibbs is. I feel like that might come to a close at some point too. If the Knicks can't get to the conference finals this year, don't be surprised if Thibodeau gets fired. No, but they've had a lot of guys step up. Malik Beasley being one of them throughout the year. Tobias Harris, I think, could potentially give you a good 15 points a game in a series. So I feel like they have guys. Tim Hardaway can shoot the ball. They have what it takes. I'm not going to discredit what they've done this season. I think they have what it takes to try and win a series. But I will say, I think the Knicks are going to fall apart by the second round. And that second round right now is the Boston Celtics. So if you can't get past the Celtics after all the trades you made, I think Tibbs gets fired and moves might have to be made. There's a lot of flip flopping to do with the Western Conference because there's a lot of teams still fighting to get their way out of the play-in scenario. Also fighting for the number 3 seed, since I think that the 3 seed has the easiest path to the Western Conference Finals. And with that said, that means I don't think much of the Houston Rockets. I think the Houston Rockets can get upset by one of the 7 seeds, whoever wins the play-in, of course. And I think even if they win that series, they get booted by whoever gets the 3 seed, even with home court advantage. In regards to talent or path, because talent, here and there. I think the T-Wolves shouldn't really be considered in that conversation anymore. I think the T-Wolves are also on a struggle bus right now. I don't even know if they'll win the play-in if they get into that. Any other team, I think, can beat the Rockets. Yeah, this is true. However, I think the Rockets have enough young talent to trade away in the offseason if they need to make that next step. That next step might look like a Devin Booker too if the Suns can give up something. But yeah, probably not tonight, Braden. Probably not tonight. Yeah, I think people prefer that anyway. He said, "Let's go." Yeah, there it is. That's the only hate we allow here is Kyle hate. Low key, to be honest. This is true. D Book, a victim to his own loyalty. That's a new one. Yeah, I can see that. However, I think we should jump into our ESPN Tournament Challenge winner, which the winner got a $50 Amazon gift card and is going to be getting a podcast T-shirt. And that podcast T-shirt will end up having a Colts logo on it because Save Zion, who is a common member of our TikTok lives, won the competition. So congratulations. Even though you call me a boomer every day, congratulations. I'm glad it was you. And not Kyle, because Kyle got second place. So thank you for not allowing that to happen. Yeah, until he just gave Kyle credit for knowing ball for real. Yeah, nah. I don't know how I feel about that. I might have to take that back. You're at dinner right now? Yo, go back to dinner, bro. Go back to dinner. We'll talk a different day. We don't want to interrupt like that. Are you? This man's on a hot date tonight. It's crazy. Braden is asking if you were Cooper Flag, would you stay or go? Also, what do you think he will do? I'll let you answer that first. This man said Sixers. Yeah. I don't think he'll stay, and I don't want him to stay. If he does end up staying, like you said, he probably should because of the NBA contracts and that kind of thing. He will be playing with the Boozer brothers or Boozer twins. I think they're twins. Um, so next year would give him an even greater chance because he's playing with even better talent. So I don't know if that's his thought process. I don't know if he thinks he can make just as much NIL money. But even then, why would you not want to start your rookie year in the NBA and risk injury and risk a non-contract situation with the NBA if you do get hurt or like a career-ending injury that way, and like miss your opportunity to kind of like fulfill your dreams essentially. If I'm him, I'm going to the NBA. I'm getting that process started. Everybody thinks he'll turn into a star. I think he'll turn into a star. In turn, will turn into more money a lot quicker. That's my thought process. I just think he should go right away. Now, if he gets stuck on a team like I don't even know. Who do we want to talk about? The Wizards? We want to talk about Charlotte? I don't know. Hornets, I don't think would be terrible, but yeah, something we touched on before we even went live. And I never really got a full opinion from you, so now we're going to get it. Clippers at 4. What are your thoughts? What do you think they can accomplish in the postseason? Oh, no. Oh, wow. I think that's the key. Think about it, though. People are going to think I'm crazy. Being at the 4 seed, I think they can make the conference finals and even go further. Just because of matchups. A healthy Kawhi, a healthy Ben Simmons. James Harden's been playing all year, and he's actually been better offensively this year than the past couple of years, especially with like shooting percentages and putting up points. He's been more of a playmaker as of late, and then all of a sudden turned into a scoring James Harden again. So if you can get that second option next to basically fully healthy Kawhi Leonard, and you said it yourself, he's back to his old ways essentially. Ben Simmons getting playing time, period, and being healthy, period. I think that's where we leave it. Zubac, very underrated. Norman Powell's also a bucket. They have very good role players around those guys, and I feel like you need the depth. They have the depth. It's a sneaky team because nobody talks about them. Nobody really cares for them because of their past health issues. I think that's a team everybody's going to sleep on. And if you're the Nuggets who are currently falling apart with the organization and the GM and the coach getting fired all this week, and you're searching for answers and you don't have depth, because you and I talked about this too, the Nuggets don't have depth compared to certain teams. Your depth is literally Russell Westbrook. Name somebody else. That's where I'm at with it. So I think they can beat the Nuggets, who are currently struggling, and that's an organization issue at the moment. So I'm not too thrilled about them. Even if Joker wins MVP and is the MVP, I'm not thrilled about it. Zubac matches up pretty well against him. And then looking forward, I think the Clippers match up pretty well against OKC because they have the defensive wings. I would just have to move James Harden over to like a Lou Dort or something, because that's the mismatch that SGA will probably look for. But I think they have the size. I think they have the length at the wing position to get that done. So first of all, Zion says Prime Ben Simmons comes back. Um, yeah, I think that would make a big difference. However, Zion's making a a comment about how coaches don't play on the court. Relax. I would take Ty Lue over every coach in the Western Conference because adjustments matter. Um, just timely adjustments matter in the playoffs. So 7-game series, you're going to need those adjustments. You're going to basically have a rookie head coach if you're the Nuggets and trying to work through different adjustments kind of in a new scenery for you just doesn't fit in my mind. So I think that's what I question the most. So some people say he lost the locker room. That can happen over time. It can happen with certain veterans over time. I heard there was kind of like a butting heads of the GM and Malone in regards to the GM wanted to play the young guy and Pickett, but Malone kept going with Russ. So I think there was some kind of discrepancy, some kind of playing time issue and theory and development issue with that. So that's why I think a lot of people are saying it's Russ's fault again for no reason. So that's not his decision, right? That's a coach decision. That's a GM decision. You hire the coach to make certain decisions, but you don't have control of the coach's decisions really. Um, you have to put all your trust into a coach. Obviously, the trust level went away real quick, and obviously, the NBA or whoever fired the GM was done messing with that situation. Said bye bye to both of them. Um, so yeah. Sometimes, and I will say it can go one of two ways. It's either the locker room, he lost the locker room and you're not going to get it back no matter who the coach is, or firing the coach, firing the GM, and getting a fresh start will end up rejuvenating them. And I, for some reason, just don't see it that way. They're still dealing with some injuries like Aaron Gordon with a calf injury, Michael Porter missed some time, Jamal Murray missed some time. They've been struggling because they've been hurt. There's nothing you can do there as a coach, to be honest with you. Jokic was putting up a 40-point triple double, and you still lose. If I'm him, I'm pissed. Right? Like you're gonna be mad in situations like that. Um, but to do that 3 games before the playoffs as the Nuggets, that's not a lot of time to try and gather the locker room back. So that's why I don't trust it. Mm. No, because you have all the stardom that you need on that team already. You just need to do the little things that they didn't want to do the last 2-3 years. And your only move over the last 2-3 years was getting Russ in replacement of Caldwell Pope and Bruce Brown, who were both on your championship team, mind you. But to close out the show here, I've been on TikTok live throughout the week, and there was a certain day or two where I was talking about different sleepers in both conferences. I want to know who your conference sleepers are for both the Western and Eastern Conference. We talked about the Western Conference being basically loaded, but we also didn't talk a whole lot about the Eastern Conference. So, what are your thoughts and who are your sleepers? They're gonna be without Dame. But I'll help your argument because Kevin Porter Jr., who they acquired at the deadline, has also been stepping up lately and was a part of the 20-plus point comeback against the T Wolves, who are a playoff team in the West. So I think they do have kind of like a depth, not issue, but like a kind of like plus to them because not a lot of teams have that depth to be able to fall back on something like that. And if Porter can stay consistent throughout the playoffs and get minutes in the playoffs, I think they'll be in good shape because with or without Dame, it's still a Giannis-led team. Zion said it correctly too. It's a whole new year. Who cares about if they're recent champs or not? When was the last time you saw a back-to-back champion user? Also, however, I know they didn't win last year, but how is that a sleeper? We just talked about them not having Dame, which is like another centerpiece of their team. So if you think they're not a sleeper, I think there's something wrong with that. Yeah, and if for some reason the Lakers drop a game to the Mavs tonight, the Warriors are in a pretty good spot to try and get the 3 seed back because they've been holding that for the last week. Lakers currently hold it. I think the 3 seed's separated by like half a game or a game between like 5 different teams right now. I think the Warriors can potentially snag that, and they might not be sleepers, but I feel like you have to consider them as a sleeper when the 3 through 8 there's literally no drop off. Potentially, yeah. There's yeah. To me, it's just funny. The Kings are locked in as of yesterday. The Mavs, I think, will be locked in if they win tonight, and then nothing else is set in stone in the Western Conference. Nothing's set in stone. Yeah, I think you have the Pistons and the Bucks fighting for the the 5 seed, and that's about it. I think that's what we're looking at. Again, it's definitely more competitive up to the 10 spot in the West if you compare it to like the play-in scenario in the East, especially if you look at the record comparisons. So I think that's all you really need to look at there too. Maybe conferences should just get like shredded into pieces and just combine everything. That might be an idea going forward potentially. They talked about abolishing conferences the last couple of years now. Definitely started the conversation when LeBron was in the Eastern Conference for a while too. We'll see if that ever happens, but I think that's definitely a thought when you see records like that. Yeah, I have a TikTok series right now with the Masters and who the favorites are in our opinion in the top three, for that matter. And Zion, again, congratulations on winning our ESPN tournament challenge. We'll be getting your prizes to you pretty soon, and we'll discuss that offline and get you situated over there. But catch me during the week around 1 p.m. Eastern time, and I hope you all have a good night and hope you enjoy this Lakers Mavs game.